Modern life is full of attempts to freeze the clock. We take thousands of photos to preserve specific moments, and we invest in complex skincare and fitness routines designed to delay the physical signs of aging. Beneath these efforts lies a basic human anxiety, the fear of disappearing. This concern appears throughout the work of William Shakespeare, who was navigating these same pressures of mortality over 4 centuries ago. He explored this theme in Sonnet 12. Looking at this 1609 title page, it's easy to assume these poems are strictly romances, but Sonnet 12 outlines a different argument. It frames time as an unstoppable force that methodically destroys everything in its path. Yet, after framing human mortality as an absolute certainty throughout the verses, the poem concludes by proposing a specific method for defying time. To understand his answer to mortality, we have to decipher the poem's logical argument step by step to see exactly how he believes time works against us. The argument begins with a sound. In the opening line, Shakespeare writes, "When I do count the clock that tells the time." Looking at the mechanical face of this antique clock, we see a physical countdown. Every second recorded is life stolen. From there, he presents the first piece of evidence. He describes watching the brave day sunk in hideous night. This shows light collapsing into shadow, illustrating how quickly beauty can vanish. Next, he looks at the microscale of biology. This illustration of a violet plant shows the flower past its prime, noting how its beauty blooms briefly before withering. The evidence then scales up to the macro environment. He points to massive forest trees that once offered shade to animals, observing their branches stripped entirely of their leaves. Finally, he details the end of the summer season. Looking at bundled golden wheat sitting in a harvested field, he describes how these crops are bundled and hauled away on carts. These images point to a single law: everything that grows must eventually decline. The flowers fade, trees lose their leaves, and summer ends, making the natural world a mirror for human life. Having established this law of nature, Shakespeare shifts the target of the poem. He moves away from plants and seasons to focus on the fair youth, the beautiful young man these early sonnets are addressed to. The decay he observed in nature now becomes a direct threat to this individual. He applies his logic to the human body, warning that dark, youthful hair will eventually turn white and rough of age. This shift happens at a specific place in the text. In poetry, this is called the volta, or structural turning point. Looking at this visual map, the volta hits at the 9th line. Here, observation transforms into personal anxiety over lost youth. This leads to the poem's bleakest realization. Shakespeare writes that beauty must die as fast as others grow, meaning nature only continues because new generations replace the older ones. From this perspective, individual human lives are temporary placeholders. We fade away so that others can grow in our place. The problem reaches its climax in the final 2 lines, where Shakespeare introduces time's scythe. Looking at this sharp, curved metal blade, it represents the ultimate destroyer, cutting down everything in its path. Against this weapon, Shakespeare reveals his defense. He tells the young man to breed. His answer to mortality is procreation. The logic is centered on biological legacy. By having children, a person allows their beauty and memory to survive beyond their physical years, continuing what time attempts to erase. The poem's rhythm reinforces this argument. This diagram breaks down Shakespeare's meter, iambic pentameter, driving the text forward in an alternating da-dum pattern. As these syllables march forward, they simulate the mechanical ticking of the clock from the opening line. Sonnet 12 is an engineered call to action. It suggests that while we cannot stop the clock, we can defy time by building a legacy